Hi everybody, today I wanted to start something new, a little serious coffee break, maybe chat, something that is not strictly related to painting or art. It still will be because it's a massive part of my life, but just like a loose chat, maybe something I read, something I watched, something I've been through, and I just wanted to share, like have a chat with a friend, because I wanted to do this for a really long time, but I felt really shy about it. And now I thought, if I just treat it like a chat with a really good friend, how bad can it be? Oh, we'll see. So I even made myself a second cup of coffee today because I thought it has to be, if it's a coffee break, it needs to be as authentic as possible. So enjoy your beverage. So I wanted to say what's been happening recently. We've been to a massive, for us it's massive, for some people who travel regularly it might be just like a regular trip. It was a road trip we took. My other half, Duncan, just turned 50 and he wanted something like an experience, something being with a family, being together, seeing some places. So initially we wanted to do 500 Scotland, which kind of goes all around Scotland at the coast, and you have this massive trip in a caravan or some sort of mobile, I don't know what it's called in English, basically like a camper van. But we have never been in a camper van. And few people said it might be still quite snowy, it might be wet, it might be windy. You know, the weather is very different to up in Scotland to where we live at the very south of England. And they were very, very right, because it's so cold up there. When I came back, the one thing I said, like, I would never want to move there because I would just, with my osteoarthritis, I would just die there with pain because it's just so painfully cold. The wind and the dampness is just beautiful, but I wouldn't switch that for warmth of the south. So we decided to kind of do a road trip, like a hotel to hotel, and just go to different places. It's a really long way because it took us, I think 4 hours with something to get to Chester, and that was our first place to visit. It was a beautiful city town. I don't know, because it's got a cathedral, it's classified as city, but it's really like a town size, beautiful historical place. And we had beautiful weather. We had a really nice time. The center was really inviting, buzzing. People were having fun. People were really living there, going out, having a meal. I don't know if it was just a particular day, it was so sunny, but it feels like much more going on there than where we are here. And I thought, oh my goodness, there's actually life beyond where we are. But you know, grass is always greener. You think, actually it's the same problems, the same stuff, it's just you caught them at the right moment. So anyway, we did Chestertown. The next day we did Chester Zoo, which was humongous. I've seen giraffes, which when I saw them I felt quite emotional. I don't know why. They're just so beautiful, and seeing them up close, and seeing elephants and some other animals and anteaters, things I have never seen before in life. I think I've seen giraffes and elephants before, but you don't see them that often, you know what I mean. Then we went to Edinburgh and we met up with Duncan's sisters and some other family members, and that was lovely. We had the most fun time. The weather was kind of on and off, as you get in Scotland. The drive was brutal. I think it was 7 hours or something like that. It was just really long time. But because we kind of chopped it into pieces, into Chester, into Edinburgh, it allowed us to kind of, not being in a car for 8 hours or 9 hours back to back. So yeah, that was really nice. We've seen so many places. Edinburgh Castle was a little bit disappointment, I have to say, comparing to some of the other places I've seen such a big status, because it was such a protective place. It was more like a protecting from invader. It wasn't very opulent, so there's lots of things were quite bare. I don't know. It's just not amazing to visit. Maybe because it was a wet day and it was raining, it wasn't as nice. But for example, I remember visiting Hampton Court, which was dripping with amazing historical just fabrics and decorations and stuff. But you know, the history is that poor Scotland was not in the best political place, so let's not be too harsh. But before going to Scotland, I watched a movie with Saoirse Ronan, I hope I pronounce her name right, about Mary of Scots and her relationship with Elizabeth. And it was so good to see that, because then I could actually understand when I went to that castle and to other places and understand the history a little bit better. And you know, it was a very good idea just to watch something, even though some bits were made up. It was still a great movie. So after that, we traveled to Inverness. Our family members have flown back to their homes, and we traveled to Inverness. It was the longest time. Oh my God, such a long time to get there. And it was cold. It was cold. I remember just we popped to the petrol station somewhere, a cafe, and I stood and I felt like someone just hit my knee with a hammer. It was just that pain of like cold and damp, and your knee just hurt so bad. I never had anything like that before. I thought, oh, that's not a good sign. Our hotel, we stayed in Beavers. Oh my gosh, I'm going to put a name here because I don't remember. It was like a really old school, very old fashioned hotel, but to be honest, everything was just on point. It was clean, the beds were super comfortable, the housekeeping was absolutely brilliant, the food was, you know, you didn't get anything like you would get in a fancy food courts, anything super cool. You will get like a very traditional food. There wasn't very much option for vegetarians or pescatarians, but we still had a nice meal. Everything was just nice, you know, good standard, but nothing funky, if that makes sense. So we had some time in Inverness. We went for a beautiful walk, see waterfalls. We went to a really nice trip on a boat. I would recommend Jacobean trips, something like that. On a boat, it wasn't even that expensive. I think it was £20 per grown-up, and then children slightly less. But we went on Loch Ness. That was amazing. I did not know that lake is so huge. And the lady on the boat trip was telling us all about it. So it was really interesting to hearing all the stories and everything. And she was, as we were going, she was pointing at buildings and telling us a little bit more of history. That was always a bonus, I think, if you just go somewhere and you watch, there's not that much context. It's not as interesting. But if you have some sort of guide, and they can tell you the most interesting things from that place, it just makes it much more relatable, much better. So that was good. And then we had, I think that was it. I can't remember doing much more there. Oh, on the way to Inverness, we also went to Stirling Castle, which was quite significant castle. On the way there in the car, I was watching the movie Rob the Bruce, which was related to everything. So I was driving within those areas where he would live, or maybe passing by, and I was watching that movie. So that was quite cool. I was so lucky. My other half was driving all the time, because I'm not a great driver. I'm not experienced. So, and I get tired so quickly. I don't know. My eyes just get really, really dreamy, and I go, I would fall asleep behind the wheel easily. So he was great. He was just amazing driver all the way. But I was laughing because one of his dreams when he was a little boy, he said, "What would you like to be, Duncan, when you grow up?" And he said, "I want to be a driver. No, I want to be policeman by day and driver at night, and I'll be like just driving all night long." I thought, this is your dream come true. So we went, seen some more bits in Inverness. I can't really. Oh, we was in Inverness Centre actually, the city, the town. It was okay. It was nothing that I would maybe venture 7 hours or more hours from us just to see the centre. But to be honest, all that nature walks and a lake, that was what we came for. So it wasn't really for Inverness Centre, but everyone was really nice and friendly. And after our Inverness trip, last bit, York. So the whole trip lasted 10 days because my son had time off school, and it was Duncan's birthday. It was actually Easter break as well, all merging together. And we thought, okay, let's just add on those extra days and make it like an epic trip all together. Because once you go that far, you can just, make another stop. So York was always on my bucket list as well. I've been there many years ago before I met Duncan. But to be honest, at the time, I was just really not that smart, and instead of going to York to see the beautiful old historical places, I think I went to a shopping centre. Honestly, this is me back in the day, but we don't judge the past, do we? So yeah, the York was beautiful. The museum, Castle Museum, the walls. To be honest, I was a little bit cranky. I was a little bit tired by that time because every single day we did something like 25,000 steps. And I don't want to be moany, but with my osteoarthritis, it is sometimes a bit challenging to walk so much. But we had a really lovely time. The York is so easy to navigate. We had a great meal in the centre. People were friendly. It was like Saturday night, so people would start to be a little bit leery, and lots of kind of hen nights, stag nights, people walking around. We've seen a lady having a wee next to the one of the historical buildings, so that's probably not the memory I want to keep, but all the other things, really lovely. The old streets, it was very busy because maybe it was weekend, it was just kind of moving to bank holiday weekend, so people were maybe making that trip as well. Busy. So it must be really nice to visit when it's not so busy and you can just enjoy empty streets or get up pretty early. I was quite tempted actually at one of the days just to get up super early, take my nice camera and take some nice pictures, but then I was so tired. It didn't happen. So overall, the trip was amazing. I'm glad we did it. However, the negatives, because I'm always seeing negatives in life, the negatives is that really throw me out of my kind of zone. Before going, I was in a really good kind of zone of creating patterns, doing the course I started, and just doing all the other things I had in line, and when I came back it kind of lost. I don't know, it just empty page. I had to start looking, what was I doing, where did I left it off, and start fresh. But on the other hand, it kind of reset me. So positive, it kind of reset, and maybe you can evaluate what you really need to be doing. So that was good. And I miss my dog so much. It was so nice to see her again. She is really frail now. She's 14. She had her holiday with my mum and her other half, so she was in a very safe hands. She's very spoiled. I think she was fed a lot of treats because she was much heavier when I picked her up. But yeah, overall, all good. When we came home, I was really happy to see a house nice and safe, because I had those nightmares, anxiety, like, oh my gosh, what if someone breaks in? What if someone, you have those thoughts, but obviously for nothing, because nothing bad happened. when I came back, the garden was so lush. All the plants just sprang like crazy. It must have been raining a little bit as well, because everything looks amazing. And wisteria went absolutely crazy. It's trying to get under the roof, so we desperately need to put this special thing for it to climb on. So that's about a trip. Let me take a sip of coffee. And also, after coming back, it was my son's birthday, so we didn't really have much time to prepare things like decorations. It was quite quickly done, and he was still happy. He actually spent all day editing videos, because he loves animation, he loves doing stuff like that on his computer. That was his dream day, and we're still gonna have a proper birthday day out with him. He wanted to do some of those water inflatable stuff, which I am not going to set my foot in, okay? There's no way. Maybe in a swimming pool, yes, I would go, but outdoors, no chance in hell. I will be standing there taking footage of them, but not climbing on that. No way. Oh my goodness, over the time, you will not catch me in a lake. You will not catch me swimming in a river, ever. Sea, maybe, because when I grew up, I was swimming in the sea on the summer holidays, but yeah, I don't know why it's sliding down. My head's kind of drooping down. The camera's going lower, maybe. Anyways, so that was kind of summary what was happening recently. On the art front, I've been in a very good kind of zone, making patterns, making in my own style. I'm currently in Indie Bloom. Not sure if you know, she's really well known in patterns world, surface pattern world. I'm currently in her membership. So there's some big things coming up. I'm waiting for that. I can't really say anything because it's top secret at the moment. I had some purchases from Spoonflower, which is very encouraging, but it's really slow. Everything's so slow. And I often just think, is it even worth it? Is it even gonna happen? You know, all that effort, all that money, because it is investment of time, of your kind of different subscriptions, like software you have to invest in, and learning, and just, you know, so much, and all you get is like 30 cents for some online sale. So it is sometimes disheartening, but everyone been saying that surface pattern is a long-term game, and you have to just keep going, keep trying, keep evolving your style, so people will buy it for your style. So I'm working on that, but it's not easy. So going back to trip, just one more thing. I took some beautiful images with my big camera. It was a pain in the butt carrying it around, but when it was nice sunny day, I took it and I took those images, and they turned out better than I thought. It's such a gorgeous, lots of texture, lots of colors I love, especially Scotland. So I'm going to start a series of paintings, mixed media style. So watercolor ink and color pencils and some other bits and bobs like Poscas or Neocolors on top, like usual. And I'm going to do the whole series of the Scotland's landscape. So I want to just keep pushing, keep developing that style, experimenting. That's the goal, and being consistent with it, because that's the problem. I start something and it stops and it never happens again. So that's the plan. Lots of materials there for my for images. So going back to the course I'm doing, it is digital painting. And I was wondering, should I do it? Should I not do it? I was going to do it like on the last release, but I didn't jump on that. So I gave it really good thought, and I said, okay, I'm going to do it this time, and I'm going to really follow everything to the T. And I have the first two modules were very basic, very much like how to set up things, how that works, how the brushes work, and etc. The layers, you have to do really tedious little tasks. Oh, sorry, it was a washing machine. I thought someone was knocking on the door. So task of cutting things out, like really basic stuff I did on the beginning learning on Photoshop, but I did it all, and I learned a couple of small bits, but you know, just making sure I go through it all. And now the third module is about sketching, so that's gonna be really good lesson, the whole thing. So I'm following the spree, which is, she's emailing me, right, we're starting Monday, we're doing those lessons, and I just go with her. It's 9 weeks. She's an amazing teacher. She's called Art. She's Polish, so you probably won't be benefiting much if you don't speak Polish, but she's got a real gift of explaining it well. And I did her mini course she was releasing, and after that I was like converted. I thought, okay, I'm gonna do it because she's a good teacher. She will teach me at last, finally. And she teaches in a very practical way, in a way that, you know, she knows those struggles. Because sometimes the big name teachers, like Proko, for example, the way he teaches is already like he thinks I'm already there. And I don't know, it's just like, okay, but I still don't know those basic bits, kind of, you know. The problem is I have to practice more. That's the real deal, that you have to really practice more. Anyways, so I'm doing this course. I'm gonna do hopefully another module today, or chunk of it. That will be great, because Monday starts that third one, so I'm a little bit ahead of time, but I like to give myself a little bit of a head start. I had a newborn session yesterday, I think, so it was just kind of after coming back quickly, preparing stuff, and the day after it was newborn session. So studio is back to normal now, with my paintbrushes and everything here in the corner. So that's good, that's done. I have a wedding in May, and hopefully another shoot, another shoot this Sunday, hopefully if weather stays nice. So the other thing that is completely personal, nothing to do with, actually is a little bit to do with art. I started coloring my own hair. It's like a second time now. First time around, Duncan put it down. I had my lovely hairdresser doing my hair for over 10 years. The problem is, every time between visits, I will get to the point where I would absolutely hate all the greys. I love greys on other people, but in my own hair, it just aged me so much. I didn't feel good and depressed me. So I thought I need something that I can put myself, do it DIY. And I was thinking, oh, I'm just gonna buy supermarket dye. But luckily I spoke to one of my best friends, and she said, oh, actually I'm using this L'Oreal Mary gel, something like that. Marielle paint, so you can really connect, you can color mix. That's where that wisdom of paint mixing comes in. And you can use toner after, so all the products are professional, so they are not as a bit more customable and not as bad for you. But even if I put it down, it stinks so bad. Oh my goodness, I'm just worried I'm gonna get really intoxicated with all that stuff. But okay, so far my first go was, the hair was quite red, a bit more red. So I had, after many discussions with ChatGPT, and my hairdresser was very kind to advise me as well. Finally, we found the kind of tone down those reds, but it's very subtle. Probably this light probably lies a little bit, and it's still quite red here, but it looks very natural. It looks very different in different light. I'm happy with it. It's just a matter now, every few weeks I need to just color those roots. So far I've been coloring the whole hair, so this time around I think I'm just gonna focus on the roots, and it should be plain sailing. So it's cost effective, time effective, because going to my hairdresser every 8 weeks, being there for 2-3 hours, it just takes a lot of your time, and obviously the cost. So it's usually like first 3 weeks I was very happy, and then after that it started to be, oh my goodness, it's already looking bad. So it just didn't work on that front. The older you get, it's harder it gets. I just couldn't understand, oh yeah, coloring hair is just for a nice little change of color, but now it's just necessity for me. Anyway, enough about that. So that was I'm happy now, because it was a source of my anxiety that I was thinking, oh my god, what if I end up with green hair, and what if my hair fell out? I was watching all those crazy videos on YouTube, people failing and coloring hair, but because it's not bleaching, so I'm like, half of success is just the color, so that's fine. And obviously they're not gonna get us unhealthy, because bleaching is probably the worst for you can do for her. So let me take a sip. Audiobook. I'm currently listening few audiobooks on the go. It's just I don't like listening to one and that's it. I like to jump from one thing to another. I can switch easily. I can switch within seconds to the other topic, other thing, no problem. And I like that. So Art and Fear by David Bales, I think. Oh my goodness, what a brilliant book, and it came at the right time. It is audio book I'm doing. I do all my books audiobooks, because I just can put my headphones on, I can go and clean the house, or go for a walk with my dog, or do whatever, or do editing, painting, and I don't feel like I'm chained to the book. And also my eyes get really tired when I just read for a long time, so I find it so much more I can kind of digest more when they talk to me. And this book is so encouraging. It's really positive. It's really just what I needed at this time, because just before going on that trip I had so many turbulation, personal kind of art related doubts and things like that. And this book it was like a breath of fresh air. It just gave me that little nudge, just keep going and get over that fear, create. So highly recommend. Fantastic book. Great if you have any wobbles or any kind of moments of thinking you want to read something encouraging, something positive, something that will push you forward. So I highly recommend that. The other book is not so glamorous maybe, and you might think, oh no, that old chestnut. But I'm reading Menopausing by Davina McCall. And you know what? Why should it be taboo? Why should it be a shameful topic? It is what it is. I am age now 43, and I think like menopause is gonna hit me like a wrecking ball, because I'm very susceptible to any hormone changes. I noticed that over the years, and I think the more I know, the knowledge is power. The more I know, the more I can prepare myself. I know there are some skeptics thinking, oh, she does really encouraging hormone replacing therapy, but she gives really good points, and I'm happy to listen to people that been researching the topic, and they can tell me about it, and why not? It could be a lifesaver, literally. So I'm currently halfway through, and stories I can hear and myths busting and things like that. It's really helpful. So again, that's the one I'm doing on Audible audiobook. Great. I feel like I'm just missing some sort of novel, something just to take off my mind off. But there are a few YouTube channels I also listen to, like a total guilty pleasure, guys. This is nothing ambitious, and mostly I was listening to the lady that kind of talks about Sex and the City old episodes, and she talks about how things were toxic, how it's a bit like a very light-hearted channel with a little bit about Sex and the City, and I'm so excited because And Just Like That coming out in May, I think end of May, not sure. So when I'm back from my Polish trip with my bestie, we're going to Gdańsk. It's gonna be such a good trip. We are coming back here. I'm coming back here. She's going back to Finland. We are best buddies since we know each other since we are 7 years old, and she now lives in Finland. I obviously live here, and we try to meet each other every year if we can. somewhere that we can. So we went to Rome before, and now we are going to Gdańsk, which is about a couple of hours from our hometown. But we're not going to visit our hometown, we're just going to go to Gdańsk, which is so lovely. I'm going to try to, I don't want to promise anything, because when I promise it all falls flat. So I'm not going to say anything. If I make a beautiful vlog from that, great. If I don't, great. So I'm really looking forward to that. So when I'm back, there's going to be And Just Like That to sweeten my sadness that I'm back. So again, something that's going to pull me off my work and a routine. I'm still looking for finding the way to kind of write something down, how I want to do it, how I want to come back to things, what I left off, what I need to finish, because the way my brain works, and I have a high suspicion of ADHD. I don't know why. It's not like I'm... Okay, I know why. But I want to have some sort of system that I can see. I wrote down and I left off. I had this notebook where I could write down all the ideas, like a brain dump, which worked really well. But, you know, it's not always working. So, guys, I'm going to say goodbye here. I need to finish my drink and I need to get back to work. I have another video to edit today, which was painting of a house portrait. The other house portrait video did really well. I was so pleased, because you never know what people want to watch on YouTube. I don't know how this is going to be received, my ramblings. I would love to hear if you have any comments here or any opinions, anything at all. I would love to hear from you. And this is number 1 of our coffee break chit chat. And I'll see you next time. Thank you so much. Bye.